There's two things I want to talk to you about today. The first starts out with the stuff that I showed you in the beginning. I needed to show you some evil stuff to get you in the mood because I want to talk about the battle between good and evil. Surely you guys have heard about this battle of good and evil. It's in a lot of video games, books, movies, television shows. You hear about it at church sometimes and things like that. And the thing that always gets me, or at least started to get me recently, is the fact that there always seems to be this battle of good and evil when the balance shifts. Typically when this balance shifts, we find that evil is pretty much starting to take over. Or really, evil just starts to appear when you think about it. It seems that the balance of good and evil actually isn't much of a balance at all, but all good and like no evil. And I was trying to think about it. What percentage of evil would actually be good to have? Is any of it really good? Does it really need to help balance out good? If we don't have a certain amount of evil, do we like have too much good? And why is there never a battle between good and evil where evil has to restore the balance because there's too much good? Why do we never see that all of a sudden there's just so much good going on that the world is crumbling beneath us? What would that even look like? The other thing I wanted to talk about, though, was inspired by a conversation on the phone I just had with Sam earlier, and Dave, I figure why not? You might enjoy it, too. Apparently, Sam's been taking some crash courses with Mary on music, which is totally cool. He's been learning overtones and scales and transposition, apparently, too. So we started talking a little bit about scales and something I had actually never thought about in music, and that is the common, thing for the Western major scale. We go. So we've got whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And so we get wholes and halves all together. And one thing Sam pointed out was what happens if we went down? It's always ascending. What if we went down, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half? So I said, let's explore that a little bit. So let's take a look. On the keyboard here, we look and we've got the whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So what if we go down? It's not quite minor because minor would be, and we've got, turns out that's actually a Phrygian mode. Now modes, as you guys probably don't know, also exist. And actually the two scales that we're most familiar with, the major and the minor scales, are both types of modes. The major scale being the Ionian mode and the minor scale being the Aeolian mode. Basically, one way to think about it is if you take every note and you go up only on the white keys. If you take the white notes and you just go straight up, you'll get these modes. So if we start with C, we just went C to C, all white. It's a major scale, as we would know it, so we actually, in the mode situation, would call it Ionian. Aeolian, if we went A to A, we get our natural minor scale, and that's Aeolian. Kind of fits with the A, but don't be fooled by that. Only two of them really fit by the letter. The other being Dorian, if we start on D. Dave, you might remember some Dorian from jazz. And that sounds distinctly different than either the major or the minor. We continue up. If we go on E, we have Phrygian. If we go up to F, then we have Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian on the A, and Locrian on the B. Now, this is not to say that we can't have starting on any of the black notes. Certainly we can do it. If we look at D, in order to get D major to become Dorian, we had to lower the third and the seventh. If we looked at that on the C major scale, the third was lowered and the seventh. We can do that with that also, but it's not going to be the same as minor because we don't have that sixth lowered. So what it turns out is that when we take it backwards and it's very similar to a natural minor, but we also have this lowered second. Which of the modes is a lowered second? Well, E. So it's Phrygian. Turns out that it's Phrygian. So certainly you can move those around. Things in different modes can be very cool. There's a lot of actually pop and rock tunes out there too that are in different modes, and so I think you guys will be able to find them if you want to do a little bit. And of course Wednesday is my wife's birthday, she turns 74 years old. What? Oh, she turns 24 years old. Sorry, sometimes, she's getting a couple gray hairs, and I mix things up when I see that. So wish her a happy birthday if you want to. If you want to send me a gift instead, that's totally fine also. Hope you guys are doing great. Don't forget to be awesome, and peace out.